today we're going to be making vegetable cabbage soup. And you can add beef to this if you want, which I do, but my girlfriend doesn't eat beef, so I make it vegetarian and make the beef on the side. This is just something I made up, this whole recipe, so here's what you're going to need. 1 head of cabbage, garlic, carrots. I don't really have measurements, I just do whatever. There's some carrots, some Yukon yellow potatoes. I like to use yellow onions, poblano peppers, some Roma tomatoes. I like to use butter. I always use grass-fed butter. You can use whatever you want. You can use olive oil, whatever. I like the taste of butter, and I like grass-fed butter. They say it's better for you. I don't know if that's true, but whatever. Salt, beef broth, some tomato juice. Here we have thyme, which is a key ingredient. Crushed red pepper, and some parsley. So, got some butter in the pan. I keep this on like a medium to high sort of heat. That's medium. I don't know about that much butter. It's a big old chunk of it. Everything I make, try to do healthy stuff. I like to work out a lot and eat right. Now you might be looking at this big pool of melted butter and think I'm a complete dumbass for saying that, but this is going to feed me and my girlfriend for a whole week. It'll probably be about 14 or 15 bowls worth of soup, so it's not a whole lot of butter per serving when you break it down like that. And we like to eat everything pretty natural, so here comes the onions. Give those a nice stir. And I'll let those sweat down. Get nice and caramelized there. So as you can see, these onions been cooking for a few minutes now. Getting nice and soft in that butter. So now I'm going to add in the garlic. And I love garlic, so I use a shitload of it. This was probably, I don't even know, like 12 cloves. Is that what? Alright, so we got the onions and garlic cooking here. My next ingredient I'm going to add in is some carrots. Now, I don't like a whole ton of carrots in my soup. I like carrots, but just too much overwhelms the flavor in my opinion. So I usually get it in there to where it looks about like that. Alright, so that onion, carrot, and garlic has been cooking down nicely. So what I add next is the poblano pepper. And you can use whatever kind of pepper you want here. Use a bell pepper. You don't even have to use pepper if you don't want, but poblano peppers are my favorite. And that right there is about 2 pretty small poblano peppers, finely chopped. And just stir that in the mixture there. Alright, next I'm going to add in the some chopped Roma tomatoes. I'm a little deranged. So stir this up. Alright, so got all that cooking here. It's time to add in the potatoes. I use these nice, beautiful yellow Yukon potatoes. I would definitely recommend those. You can use what I always say, you can use whatever you want. You could use red potatoes, but these are the best. Cut them in nice, like little bite-sized portions. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to stir these bad boys in now. Put some yellow, green, red, orange. Okay, now here's the part. I pretty much got most of the stuff chopped up here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to crank up the heat on high. I'm going to start adding in some more shit. I'm going to add in this tomato juice. Yeah. Now, go ahead and add the rest of this beef broth. Stir it up. So now as this is all heating up, I'm going to add in the star of the show, the cabbage. You can see it. Some of you might not know how to cut a cabbage. Not to fear. I'm going to show you how real quick. Right here, get it in there, cut that fucker off. And what I do, now like I said, I'm not a professional chef. I just kind of taught myself all this shit. Cut it in the force. And I kind of find this little knob of shit right here, and I kind of scoop cut it out like that. Throw that in the garbage, and then I just kind of cut it in this kind of fashion. Cabbage. Cabbage is really good for you. Low in carbohydrates, high in fiber. And then I kind of, the way I want it to go into the soup is kind of like these long little skinny strands like this. So that's generally how I try to cut it. And appear like a ridiculous amount of cabbage at first, but once it cooks down, it evens out nicely. So here it comes. Put that in there. And all this cabbage is going to bring the temperature down. I'm trying to stir this up without making a mess. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes or so. And as you can see, this cabbage is cooked down a little bit. Now, as I move my spoon through this, I can see that it's pretty damn thick. A little thicker than I'd like it to be. So all I'm going to do here is add about 8 ounces of water. Halfway full, I'm just going to add this in. And I find that it's always safe to add too little than too much. So I just start with 8. And if I need more, I can add more. So now that I got that in, I'm going to stir it. And now I like the way my spoon's moving through this a lot more already. So now, I'm going to add my spices. This is the key to making this shit taste good. First thing I'm going to add, salt. And I'm just going to kind of, I don't know, put that much in there. Whatever that is. Kind of kind of add these to your liking. I like stuff salty. Next, some crushed red pepper. You can add black pepper if you want. I just prefer crushed red. I'm just going to add about that much. My girlfriend and I like stuff spicy, so about that much. And stir that in. This is a secret. The key is thyme. And with this, I kind of just eyeball it. It's pretty strong, so you want to be careful not to put too much, but maybe like a chunk like that. And kind of sprinkle it over. You can see it kind of looks like that on top. Probably add a little bit more, about half that amount this time. There you go. Sprinkle it in. And that's probably about good for that. Even though it's my favorite ingredient in there, I've definitely done this before, put too much thyme in and kind of ruined it. Some Italian parsley, dried parsley. If you have fresh parsley, it'd be even better, but I don't, that just takes up too much time. I do about the same amount of parsley. And about half as much this time. Throw it in there. Stir it up. I almost forgot. I'm an idiot. This has been sitting here the whole time and I totally forgot. Can of diced tomatoes. Go ahead and add that in. I just added it in, as you can see. I'm going to reduce the heat now to a medium-low. And I'm going to let that simmer for an hour. This is the most important part. You got to let it simmer for an hour. Let all those flavors come together. Like I said, you want an hour. And you want to give it a stir every 10 or 15 minutes. Just like this. This is going to be really good. You can already tell. A nice stir. Just let it go for an hour. So I'm going to turn the camera off now for an hour. Alright, so it's been about an hour. As you can see, everything is done here. Soup looks amazing. It's nice and thick and just hearty and delicious. This is paleo, gluten-free, healthy soup. Super cheap, super easy. You can do whatever version of it you want. Hope you enjoy. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.